Nobody has time for it. I'm very innovative, and I'm a go-getter. I'm a team leader, but I'm very creative. I don't care. What can you do for me? This is a personal brand. Whether or not you build a personal brand or not, you have a personal brand. I'm going to talk about that in a second. This is a personal brand as well. This is my client, Walter Stelz, IT executive. Which one looks better? A? Let me see hands. Which one looks better? Which one looks like you want to contact that individual, learn more about that individual, potentially hire that individual? Which one looks better? A or B? Let me see hands for A, and don't try to mess with me. Let me see hands for B, for Walter. Yes, absolutely. People don't do business with logos. People don't do business with buildings. People don't do business with stock options. People don't do business with news articles. People don't do business with just, random, meanderings on media about your company. They do business with people. Okay, how many people have no idea when I say LinkedIn banner? This right here is a LinkedIn banner. This thing right here, you see this big blue empty nothing, I call it? That's a LinkedIn banner. This is the first thing that people see when they come to your LinkedIn profile. This is called understanding the psychology of the end user. What do they see first? Think of LinkedIn as your personal professional website. So that big blue nothingness that LinkedIn puts there as a placeholder, hasta la pasta, bad news. No good. Makes you look like everybody else. You want to stand out. That's what you want. Where's my AV guy? Kevin, get over here. This big blue nothing thing right here, you don't want that. You need to find something that communicates a little bit about who you are, your narrative, and how you can solve problems. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about Professor Nez. Who gives a rat's butt about Professor Nez? You're here paying attention to me because you see an opportunity in this amazing platform, and hopefully you're going to get something out of that. If not, I haven't done my job, and I apologize. Come see me. I will work with you personally right now and school your butt on LinkedIn. I'm happy to do that. I mean, in a good way, a fun way. You gotta have fun, y'all. Life's short. You're not listening to me for kicks and giggles, right? So you have to get your banner page, this top thing right here. Now look at what I did for my client. This is Walter. He's got a beautiful image, a very global graphic design that we specifically designed for him. He's got some calls to action there, some terminology there, some verbiage there, and plus it just looks cool, doesn't it? Empower people, leadership, vision, inspire people, efficiency, quality, customer. There's a lot going on there. How many people have a profile photo on their LinkedIn page? Whoa, that's shocking to me. The last time I did this, one hand went up. Most of your LinkedIn profiles look like this. I know they do. You can't fool me. How many people, oh, this is even better. This is even better. How many people have their LinkedIn profile on private? Only people who connect with me can see my stuff. All of your profiles are on public? It's on, okay, good. This is a smart crew. I'm happy. I'm proud of you guys. Give me a pound. Good, I'm proud of you. That's good. You want that. Why would you exclude anybody from learning more about you? Remember, you don't exist until people know your story. Have a professional photo. I just listened to a podcast where a so-called influencer, a so-called bigwig in the entrepreneurial space, was saying, I think you should put whatever photo you want in your profile photo. Don't be so stiff and have a professional photo. I vehemently disagree. I vehemently disagree. If you look at mine, which I should probably have mine up here, right? If you, I'm trying to connect to the internet here. If you look at mine, you'll see that I've got, it's not a stuffy picture, but it's certainly not me, in my t-shirt in front of the, jungle safari with my kids, okay? You're gonna see all my messages now and stuff too. This is bad. This is bad boogie. Okay, this is my page right here. Come on. This is my page right here. It's going to come up in just a second. Now, my profile photo, you don't have to take a professional quote unquote, although Riley, you guys are providing that, right? You don't have to take a professional one. My wife took this picture of me. I have a podcast, which all of you guys should subscribe. This is the best business and branding podcast on the planet. It's called Nez Nation Live. Whether you're on Spotify, shameless plug, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, we're everywhere. And it's all free too. So my wife took this picture of me in my studio with my microphone wearing just a business casual. I mean, make it your personality, but I don't believe in this wear a t-shirt in front of, while you're having a picnic on the beach, in a tank top. I don't believe in that. No, this is a professional website. Keep it professional. You wouldn't go to an interview dressed in a tank top. You wouldn't do that. Riley, how am I doing on time? Okay, thank you. Next thing is your headline. So we talked about banner. Look how gorgeous and beautiful my banner is. So we talked about banner, okay? Now you have to worry about your headline, because believe it or not, LinkedIn is a search engine. So if you just have analysts like my man James, poor James, if you're ever out there, James, I apologize. I think this is gonna help him more than anything. You have to have keyword phrases that people, employers, decision makers will actually search for, aka vice president of sales, project manager, team leader, cross-functional, business development, account executive, yada, yada, yada. But you want keywords. LinkedIn has almost 700 million members. You have to have phrases that understand the psychology of what people are going to search for, so you come up. Google is the largest search engine on the planet, and most of you might not know this. YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet. And SEO, aka search engine optimization, is not that difficult. You just have to get in the mind of your consumer. You have to get in the mind of your ideal customer. You have to serve your audience. Always be serving your audience, period. So don't put titles. Nobody cares about titles. Nobody cares that you're the chief marketing officer at a Cheyenne Software Inc. Give me some diversified portfolio of phrases that give me more depth into who you are, and also come up on a very valuable thing called search. This is how you make money, y'all. Who wants to make money? Let me see those hands. Who wants to make money? I mean, we can all be kumbaya and like, yes, I want to tell my story and be this highbrow gent. No, let's make some money. I live in Southern California. I got a wife who likes Louis Vuitton purses. Hello? Who here has Louis Vuitton? I'm looking at some of you. I see it? See right there. Get out of here. I tell my students all the time, I go, you know why I work 24/8? Because she's spending it faster than I can make it. Okay, that's a joke. I love my wife. But anyway, she's probably spending it right now. Anyway, so we talked about banner. We talked about profile. You see, he's not wearing a tie. He's not all stuffy. But wear something that presents your true self. And then have keywords in your headline, not titles. And then last but not least, you have to have an about page, which needs to be keyword optimized. I'm going to talk about Darwin in just a second. Riley, am I going over? How many of you guys, by show of hands, how many of you guys are like, this is actually helping me? I want to be helpful. Does anybody have any questions so far? Like, Nez, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anything? Does anybody have any questions really quickly? Yes, miss. What's your name? Say that again. Hi, Carla. How are you? Speaking to the mic.
Okay, so the question is where you said do not add a title, but that is a limited amount of words that you can actually use.
Okay, so it's a limited amount of words that you can put there. Yes, you only have a certain amount of characters. That is correct. Use that all up. You don't have to use all of them, but use it all up. I have about 10, 20 characters that I throw away. So be authentic. Don't just, actually, let me rephrase that. Don't just fill it up. Does that make sense? Because that looks too obvious. It looks like you're trying too hard. Guys, the internet is not different from real life. just be a human being. Don't try too hard. Don't try to push it too much. Keep it, honest, keep it authentic, but also milk that for all it's worth. So Carla, it's okay, you don't have to use all the characters, but I would take advantage of as much space that aligns with how what's your position or what are you looking to get? Technical leader, okay. Manager role. Why should I pay attention to you? What kind of problems can you solve for me? Rhetorical question, don't answer that right now. That's what you need to put in your head. Okay, here's another thing I want to say. So the 4 pillars are banner, profile, headline, and about page, okay? And if you want to know more about this, my time is kind of running out. But here's the key. Don't think of yourself, this is it, this is going to wrap up everything beautiful. Don't think of yourself as an employee looking for employment. Think of yourself as a business of one, selling your services to the right employer for fair compensation. When you do that, this is a mindset shift. Because what most people do in interviews, what most people do in all their conveyances, it's all about I. This is what I can do, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want, this is my salary, this is my vacation time. I call it the Kennedy principle. Ask not what the company can do for you, ask what you can do for the company. So Carla, with your banner, with your profile, with your headline, with your about page, always be serving your ideal customer avatar, AKA your ideal company decision maker, who's going to pay you a check. That's who you want to serve. Nobody has time for it. I'm very innovative and I'm a go-getter. I'm a team leader, but I'm very creative. I don't care. What can you do for me? Does that make sense? I don't care that you're creative. I don't care that you work well with others. What can you do for me? I'm going to pay you a lot of money. What can you do for me? I have a headache. You need to be my etc. That goes for everything, by the way. Not just for employment, for business too. If you serve your customers, if you serve your clients, you'll always win. And then when my wife and I get that email alert that she's bought another $5,000 purse, it doesn't bother me 1 second. You know why? Because I'm doing what I love and I got plenty of Monet. Because I know this stuff works. I know this stuff works. Thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to take any, can I do a Q&A at all, Riley, like 2 minutes? Do we have mics or anything or what? Does anybody have any questions really quickly? Any questions? Maybe just for a couple, yeah, first name.
I have is in regards to the banner, so it has to be, I have to tell a story.
The banner.
The banner.
Okay.
Because right now it's pretty blue and boring.
Yes.
Soft.
Yes.
So I want to be able to modify it so that it's personalized to
Yes.
Carla, right?
Yes. So here's what you need to do. What you need to do is you need a banner that is going to pop and it's going to actually communicate what is it exactly that's going to make me want to meet you. And so how you do that is you create a banner that tells a little bit about who you are and how you solve problems. So for example, if you're a technical leader, then have a nice banner with a beautiful image that has some graphics in there about your background, like maybe a microchip, or what do you do? Software development? What do you mean technical leader? Medical devices. Put some medical stuff up there, and then have a value proposition, otherwise known as a tagline, that says, I am a technical leader, making something that solves problems. So, for example, I am a leader in the medical device space, and I can help you with your whatever that issue is, XYZ, whatever their pain point is, whatever they're struggling with. That's what that needs to answer. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. Carla, go to my website. I've got a ton of videos. You got to go to my website. It's absolutely phenomenal. Let me get my. No, I don't. But go to LinkedIn. It's better than a business card. Your LinkedIn is better than a business card. Go to LinkedIn. And I want you to type in Professor Nez, and then put a message that says, I saw your speech at the MDM, and I'll connect with you.
Great.
That's all you need to do. I would love to help you. I would love to help you. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I would love to. Dad, hold the mic a little bit closer, please.
What does that banner image need to have? I'm not talking about the headshot. I'm talking about the
The
banner.
blue, the big blue. Yeah.
How do I go about? How do I go about making sure it has what it needs to have? How do I produce one? And how should that differ from, for example, a personal web page?
Okay, this is excellent. What he's talking about, thank you, Fred. So he's talking about this big blue rectangular thing that James so desperately needs, correct, Fred?
Correct.
And so you see how I created this for my client. Now, if you want the easiest software to create that, there's two things you can do. Number one, you can go get a free stock image online. It's free. I use canva.com, canva.com. It is basically a website that has democratized design. It's made it very easy, and they actually have LinkedIn banner templates, and you can create your own design. I highly recommend it. I use it for all my social media. I use it for all of my promotion, my micro content. I use it for a lot of stuff, my podcast art. I use it for almost everything. So if you go to canva.com, canva.com, it's the best website to create anything very simple. You don't have to use Photoshop. You don't have to know Photoshop. You don't have to, it's not too complicated. It's very simple. Now, as far as the methodology, is that what you're kind of asking too?
What does it need to have?
So philosophy, yeah. So again, what I told Carla, it should be a narrative of who you are and how you can solve problems. Try to tell a story with your banner page. Try to tell a story that says, you can't pass me up. Because the only reason anybody hires anybody is because they have a headache. You need to be Tylenol. Nobody cares about Professor Nez. I could give two rats about Professor Nez unless he solves my problem. There's a client right here in the front row who's helping me film this, okay? Now, is he doing this for kicks and giggles? No, he's my client. I've helped him solve a problem. I'm continuing to help him solve a problem. Even as charming and fun as I am, I still have to solve his problem. Does that make sense, Fred? So why should I answer this question? Carla, write this down. Write this question down. Why should anybody pay attention to it? You know how unbelievable, how the most valuable commodity is not your home, it's not your bank account. The most valuable commodity you possess, any human being, is time. You can't buy more and you can't get a refund. So they want to know, is their time well invested in going onto your page, your content, your post, your website, your resume, everything. You should always communicate, how can you solve problems? Why do we buy toilet paper? Because it looks good in the house? No, because it solves problems. Why do I have a car? It solves a problem. Even if it's for vanity, it solves a problem. Why do I buy, a glue or a lighter or candles or what? Think of any product. The reason it's successful is because it solves problems. That's it. It's not about you. It's about them. Period.